The anxiety of the person sitting next to you can change your body's chemistry. This happens without a word, without a touch, through an invisible broadcast from their nervous system to yours. We're going to break down the precise brain hardware that makes this possible, revealing how the vibe someone gives off is a measurable biological signal. And chances are, you've been absorbing these signals all day, letting them quietly shape your mood, your focus, and your decisions. You know the feeling. You walk into a room where two people just had an argument. The air feels thick, heavy. You can't see the argument, but you can feel the residue. Or think of the opposite. One person starts laughing genuinely, and within seconds, a ripple of smiles and chuckles spreads across the group, even before anyone knows the joke. We call this intuition, or empathy. But the mechanism is far more direct. It's less like understanding a feeling, and more like catching it, like a virus. So what is the biological carrier for this contagion? The answer began with a monkey, an ice cream cone, and a complete accident. In the 1990s, a team of Italian neuroscientists in Parma were studying monkey brains, specifically the motor cortex. They had electrodes monitoring a macaque's brain, watching which neurons fired when the monkey reached for a peanut. One day, a researcher walked into the lab holding an ice cream cone. He lifted the cone to his own mouth. The monkey, sitting perfectly still, watched him. And then something unexpected happened. The exact same neurons in the monkey's brain fired as if it were the one eating the ice cream. The monkey's brain was performing the action just by watching it. They had discovered mirror neurons. This system, which we now know is widespread in the human brain, simulates the actions of others within ourselves. It's why you flinch when you see an athlete take a hard fall. Your brain, for a split second, simulates the impact, and this laid the groundwork for a much deeper discovery. Because the brain doesn't just mirror simple movements, it mirrors the entire constellation of internal states that go with them. Think about what an emotion actually is, physically. It's a posture, a facial expression, a change in breathing rate, a specific muscle tension. When you see someone slumped in defeat, your mirror system simulates the physical posture of being slumped. When you see a face tighten in anger, your brain simulates the feeling of those facial muscles clenching. Your brain runs a virtual reality simulation of what it feels like to be in their body in that moment. It's a full body download, and this process is so fast, so automatic. It happens long before your conscious mind gets around to thinking, oh, that person looks sad. Your body is already feeling a shadow of that sadness. But then researchers found something that showed this connection was even more profound, happening on a level we can't even see. The simulation runs deeper than just muscles and posture. It goes all the way down to your organs and your bloodstream. Studies have shown that when two people are in a deep empathetic conversation, their bodies begin to sync up. Their heart rates start to beat in rhythm. Their breathing patterns align. This is called physiological synchrony. It's the body's way of saying, I am with you. One experiment at the University of Haifa had couples engage in conversations while hooked up to monitors. The more empathetic the couple was, the more tightly their biometrics synchronized. They were literally sharing a physical state. But this has a dark side. A study from Germany demonstrated that merely observing someone else undergoing a stressful experience is enough to raise the cortisol levels in your own body. Cortisol is the primary stress hormone. Your body caught their stress just from watching. And it gets even more intimate. We are constantly broadcasting our emotional state through channels we are almost completely unaware of. One of the most potent is chemosignaling. Yes, we send signals through smell. Research has shown that when we feel fear or stress, we release specific chemical compounds in our sweat. In one study, volunteers sniffed sweat pads collected from people who had watched a scary movie. The result, the sniffers' own brains lit up in fear-related areas. They didn't see the movie. They just smelled the fear. They became more vigilant, their eyes darting around more. They literally inhaled someone else's fear, and their own nervous system responded as if the threat were real. This happens with happiness too. Sweat from happy people can induce genuine smiles in others. We are constantly reading and reacting to the invisible chemical weather of the people around us. Every room you walk into has a chemical signature of the emotions being felt there. So if we are this porous, this constantly influenced, are we just helpless receivers, tuned to whatever station is loudest? The good news is that we have a volume knob. The mirroring system is automatic, but it's regulated by other parts of the brain, particularly the prefrontal cortex. This is where your attention comes in. Your attention is the director in the theater of your mind, deciding which actor to put the spotlight on. While you will automatically mirror everyone in your periphery to some degree, the person you are actively focused on will have a profoundly amplified effect. Where you point your eyes and your mind, you point your mirror system. If you focus on the most anxious person in the room, you are instructing your brain to run a high-fidelity simulation of their anxiety. If you focus on the calmest, you are importing their stability. This gives you agency. You can't stop the signals from being broadcast, but you can choose which broadcasts you tune into. Your focus is a form of biological defense. It's a firewall. But if you can control the input, that raises a much more powerful question. Can you learn to control your output? You can become a conscious transmitter. The same system that makes us vulnerable to others' negativity can be used to broadcast stability and calm. Think of a great leader, a skilled doctor, or just that one friend who is incredibly grounding to be around. When a group is panicking, they remain centered. Their calm isn't just an attitude, it's a physiological signal. Their steady breathing, their open posture, their regulated heart rate broadcasts a signal of safety. The mirror neurons of everyone around them pick up this signal. Their nervous systems start to simulate that calm. This process is called emotional regulation. When someone has a highly regulated nervous system, they act like a tuning fork for everyone else. They don't just tell people to calm down, their own body shows the other bodies how to do it. This isn't about faking it. The system is brutally honest. It detects incongruence. You can't just put on a smile. Your body has to actually inhabit the state you want to transmit. Your internal state is the signal. This leads to a final, uncomfortable truth. The people you consistently spend your time with are not just influencing your thoughts. They are programming your nervous system. Day after day, your brain and body are synchronizing with their brain and body. Their baseline stress level gradually becomes your baseline. Their patterns of excitement, their rhythms of anxiety, their capacity for joy, all of it is constantly shaping your own physiological defaults. You are creating a collective bioloop. The old saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with is a neurological and biological reality. You are literally borrowing parts of their nervous systems, and they are borrowing parts of yours. So the people in your life are either regulating you or dysregulating you. There is very little neutral ground. The question is not whether your vibration affects others. It's what vibration are you choosing to cultivate within yourself, because you are broadcasting it whether you mean to or not. The ballot box of your nervous system is open. It's been opened this whole time. And this same mirroring mechanism is the reason why bad habits spread through an office like a cold, which is a completely different kind of contagion.